So actually won't be too far away from our next guest. The Hansens, farming in the South Wairarapa, initially aimed to get every farmer on their road to either give or sell 1 or 2 bales. That's all it took to make a unit load. But of course, as all good Kiwi ideas, they grow rapidly out of control. And their Facebook page, Rapa Feed Run, is what we're discussing now. Daniel and I've just dragged in Sophie. Join us now, both of course behind the Facebook page. Firstly, on behalf of everyone watching and listening, can I just say congratulations on an awesome idea, and especially the generosity from you helping out your neighbouring cousins when, of course, I understand yourself don't have a large surplus of feed as well. How did you manage to get everyone in behind it when it's not that straightforward, that you're flush on one side of the hills to the other?
Yeah, I don't really know quite how we got so many people on board. It started as a small idea, and we thought we might get a few more, but actually we've just been so overwhelmed by the generosity of the farmers here and their willingness to just provide what they can.
Yeah, so, I mean, I said in the intro, prior, 10 truck and trailer loads over 4 days. Where are we at today?
As of just about 6 o'clock, we had 478 bales donated or at a very small cost provided to us to distribute.
What sort of difference will that make?
Huge. It'll be huge. The guys up there are in a desert, pretty much. So, getting this to them will make a huge difference, and that's what we're keen to see.
Hopefully we can get, say, if we have a unit load going up, if that, truck and trailer can be split between 2 farmers, that might help them for a couple of weeks to help get them through, find something else, see what they can source, and just help ease their mind.
Actually, the logistics have been something that we have criticised where MPI have put their funding, and of course they've come to the party. Gratefully we are around coordinators for feed. However, there is a lot of lessons that we've learnt from the past, and especially 2013 and even earlier in the 80s drought, where coordination and reducing costs, Mark Warren brought to my attention a lot of the government taxes and fuel taxes and ferry costs and things like that can actually help bring down these costs and subsidising. Is it so much that, or is it purely just the coordination that everybody can come together around their common need, which is feed?
I see it as both. I think it's a whole community effort. Transport is a huge cost. If it gets to the stage where feed needs to be brought up from the South Island, obviously anything to do with road users or ferry costs would greatly impact that. Of course, when the supply is low, demand and price goes up. And I think, Dan, you've heard of some pretty
I've
high
heard
prices.
Of $200 a bale, and that's X farms in Hawke's Bay.
Landed.
So that's just daylight robbery, in my opinion.
Do you think this is really sort of teaching or exposing the cowboys that are taking the mickey out of a terrible situation?
I don't think it's going to expose the cowboys, but it'll just make people think that they are there, and just that makes people wary. I don't think it will expose them, because they'll just drift back into the woodwork and they'll come out later on. But that's.
What's been the one lesson that you've learned that we should implement on a sort of annual adverse events response type committee, that regardless of the region, we kick into action this particular system?
Yeah, I think they need to consider, when you have feed shortages or a drought or a weather event, is where are you going to get this from? Your neighbouring area might also have the same problem. There needs to be a greater plan to think on a whole national level of where this feed can come from, how other regions can help, subsidising, maybe it's subsidising feed costs to farmers, or the freight, or helping them out in a way that is more accessible to them and will make a bigger difference.
What would you say to Minister O'Connor's point that farmers should have prepared earlier and feed budgeted for the spring in February?
I don't think you'd want to publish my response to his comment, to be fair. Yeah, it's
hard. Farming depends so much on the weather. You can't predict if you're going to have a dry autumn or a dry winter. And for Hawke's Bay, who are coming off a drier winter last year, it just all compounds up. You can't predict the weather. It's very, very hard.
And you can't predict a global pandemic that has a backlog it processes on top of it.
Exactly. There's just so many unknowns and so many unpredictable factors in this that how on earth is someone going to forecast these sort of events from February to September?
Absolutely. I do want to celebrate the wonderful spirit of generosity that you have done. Thank you so much on behalf of, as I said, everyone listening and watching. Sophie and Daniel Hansen have started the Facebook page Rapa Feed Run. Make sure you jump on there. If they're in the South Island and people want to send feed up, can they communicate through your page?
Yep, so if they do want to, absolutely flick me a message. What we'll do is we'll pick it up and we can put them in touch with the right people in Hawke's Bay who are helping us out as well.
Oh, it's just absolutely heartwarming, the work that you're doing. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on Sarah's Country. Sophie and Daniel Hansen out of the South Wairarapa there with Rapa Feed Run, the Facebook page.
This is Sarah's Country.